Boom. All right, what's up, you guys? It's Roy, it's Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are unfortunately going to be talking about why Bitcoin, along with the majority of the cryptocurrency sector, is still in a bearish trend. I know a lot of you guys are bulls. I know a lot of you guys like it more when I'm a bull. Trust me, I do too. It's a lot funner to be a bull than a bear. And when it comes to the long term, I definitely am still a bull. I still believe 100% in the longevity of plays and projects like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, the ones we're going to be talking about today, the ones I've talked about for a long time. And I do still believe new all-time highs are ahead. But as a trader, as an analyst, it's my job to make the most responsible and rational decisions that I can with the data set that I have available to me. Data set meaning just the macro fundamentals, the macroeconomics, along with the technicals, along with the charts, which of course we will talk about today and dive into. And right now, unfortunately, you guys, the charts look bearish. The fundamentals feel bearish. My gut instinct is still bearish. And of course, I will once again explain to you guys why that is. Try to rationalize those thoughts for you as we dive into the charts. But to sum it up, I am still a bear. I do still think downside is ahead. So once we do dive into the charts, I do want to talk to you guys about bounce targets again. Crypto has been an absolute roller coaster lately. You guys know that since we kicked off the month of September by falling off a cliff. Crypto has been a roller coaster, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of bear traps, a lot of bull traps, just fake outs in general, which is not surprising when it comes to Bitcoin. But again, I know you guys are looking at the chart here. I know you guys know my argument for being short-term bearish. But after we cover the more short-term bearish argument, I really want to zoom out and go to the weekly candles to close out each individual analysis and just show you guys why this looks bearish from kind of a bird's eye view, from a bird's eye perspective when you really zoom out. Okay, so again, we will dive into trading view, talk technicals, talk price targets on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink today. Those are the three names we're going to be discussing. But before we dive in, really means a lot if you guys give the video a like. Let me know in the comments down below, do you agree or disagree with my bearish sentiment? If you disagree, explain why. And if you agree and there's something that I don't touch on in this video that makes you feel bearish as well, please let me know down below. Always love your guys' insight and feedback in the comments. I'll catch you downstairs. Subscribe to the channel. If for some reason you're watching and you're not already, join the Wave Sam, subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to know how I'm personally trading Bitcoin, Ether, Chainlink, where I'm buying the dip, exactly how I'm structuring my portfolio when I do buy the dip, not only for these three names, but for some of our favorite Bitcoin miners as well, seeing nice bounces. I will cover these in the private Sunday stock watch. That is going to be in the newsletter and portfolio. But if you guys do want to know how I'm exactly how I'm going to be trading these, not only cryptos, but some of our favorite crypto related stocks, when I'm buying, which calls I'm going to be buying once I do decide to buy, and not only crypto, EV, short squeezes, all the plays we talk about here on the channel all the time. Check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. First link down in the description box. That's going to be 15 bucks a month or 40 bucks for every 3 months. Exactly as it states, a complete list of my entire personal portfolio, all of my call options, put options, stock positions, crypto positions, and I do update that every single trading day during market hours. And along with every update, I also send out a comprehensive newsletter explaining my thoughts and rationalizing my trades. On top of that, you do also, once again, get the exclusive Sunday stock watch. I will be covering Bitcoin miners pretty in depth, all the good ones, Riot, Mara, Bitfarms, BTBT, Port Greenridge, which has just been getting smoked, and it's unfortunately not surprising. But we'll be covering those in the private Sunday stock watch, just like, if you guys have been around, just like every other Sunday stock watch I've ever recorded. Looks just like this, but now I post it to YouTube, I make the video unlisted, and then send the private link out via newsletter, okay? So again, just a little cherry on top if that means anything to you guys. But once again, appreciate it if you guys check that out. Means a lot if you do. Do my best to make it worth your hard-earned money. But if not, it's all good. I appreciate your hard-earned attention, your hard-earned eyeballs right now. Sounding kind of weird, but you guys get my point. Let's dive into the charts, you guys. So Bitcoin, we'll kick it off once again for all three of these names with the short term, and then just kind of slowly zoom out and close it out with those weekly candles that I was talking about, all right? So short term, just right off the bat, you guys just bearish initially. Since this big fall off a cliff and break of this beautiful ascending channel, these two green lines right here, I'll zoom out and you guys can see that. But for now, Bitcoin, since we fell off that freaking cliff, that bloodbath that was September 6th, we have been setting a series of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so classic bearish pattern, about as textbook or about as just traditionally bearish and simple as a pattern, as a bearish pattern gets. High, low, lower high, lower low, and right now we are coming up on some trend lines that I'll explain right after this, but I do think that we are basing just another lower high on the overall downtrend that is at hand, okay? And keep in mind, you guys, although the Bitcoin miners did see some green today because Bitcoin has just been ripping since that kind of Evergrande just panic and flood to cash that happened on Monday, on September 19th or 20th. We have seen a little bounce, and it's easy to feel bullish when you just see 2 days of upside and Bitcoin seeing some pretty significant upside along with the rest of the crypto market. But again, that's a big reason I wanted to make this video, just to point out some of these trend lines that are in play to you guys and just explain why, although the short term can feel bullish, we're still down on the week. And ultimately, from a technical perspective, we are still in a bearish trend. A lot of this, when it comes to the fundamentals and just kind of downside price targets and whatnot, you guys, is my opinion. But if you are abiding by trend lines, which again, you could argue just opinion, I guess. But when you're abiding by trend lines that have proven themselves to be in play, we are still in a bearish trend. And just again, the series of lower highs and lower lows proves that we are still in this bearish short-term trend. So as far as those trend lines are concerned, we got two that I'm keeping an eye on, and ever since we started this bounce, ever since we saw this little reversal a couple of days back, this has been kind of my, if I was to trade this, which I don't, I just buy dips. I don't day trade Bitcoin for sure. If I was trading this is right around the area I would definitely sell. I've had this price target, this little target mark right here for the past couple of days. And the reason for that is because it fills the gap between these two trend lines that I do definitely believe will, and actually just like over the past couple of hours proved to fall into play. Okay, so this trend line right here is just again a pretty significant trend line on Bitcoin since as we were moving and as we broke below the ascending channel. Just zoom out for you guys. Again, Bitcoin was in this beautiful ascending channel. Once we broke below that, that's when I flipped bearish. When was that? So September 7th, again, as we fell off a cliff, and just big moves down like that, they instill fear. They instill fear and uncertainty amongst investors, and that kind of feeds into just that bearish fundamental narrative on top of all the other fundamental bearish dark stars that I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. Okay, so anyway, so that big one, this trend line has been in play for a while. Resistance, broke through that. New support. It broke straight below that, but as it was bouncing up, as we bounced up after that bloodbath, we did go on to use that as resistance once again. Broke through that, saw a little rally there, coming back down, almost using it as support. Not a crazy strong trend line, but you can see how many touch points are involved here on these 4-hour candles. And again, it just proved itself on this bounce, just barely. Again, you guys, give or take a few bucks, but for the most part, this trend line did just come into play. So one of two things is either going to happen as we close out the trading week. Tomorrow's Friday, and as we move through the weekend. The first is that we do just set this short-term top right here and just start trading sideways. Use this as resistance, get rejected by this line of resistance, and then see more downside and ultimately go to my ultimately head towards my my final downside price targets of like the 30,000s. And for now, 30Ks. I do still think personally that 30Ks are on the horizon. Once we start falling, though, of course, you guys will cross that bridge when we get to it. But we either trade sideways over the course of the weekend. This is straight up speculation in my opinion, so keep that in mind. Trade sideways over the course of the weekend. Weekends typically are slower, but because I remain bearish on the equity indices as a whole. The equity indices, I do still think just saw a relief rally. Same here with Bitcoin, dead cat bounce, relief rally, whatever you choose to call it. I still think the entirety of the markets is doing that. And we either base out right here, trade sideways, and then head down, or over the coming week, I'll say that, or we come up tomorrow, maybe we start ripping tomorrow again, come up, break through this trend line, but it's almost certain to me that we will face very strong short-term resistance here. Why is that? Because this is a very strong line of resistance on the short-term downtrend. Again, kicking it off with a big sell-off, capitulate, bounce back up a little bit, surprisingly in all honesty, but this line of resistance since this 4-hour candle laid its mark, laid its foot in the ground, is acting as a pretty significant line of resistance. Okay, so maybe we break through that. See, maybe even over the weekend we climb up here. That would take us to just about $46,500 on September 24th, okay, over the coming days. But my money is on, you guys know, again, how many times can I say I'm bearish? You guys know I'm bearish. Maybe we bounce up. Even if we come up to test this trend line, I do think this will pose as a very significant line of short-term resistance, and that will be where we start to move sideways and down prior to really seeing that move down. So what would flip me bullish before we zoom out? Okay, what would flip me bullish is that if we are able to break this line of resistance right here. But even if that happens, honestly, you guys, I will not be sold and I will not be officially a bull again unless we break above $48,900. Just to keep it conservative, unless we close a 4-hour, preferably a daily candle above $49,000 to reset, or just to break the downtrend, break this series of lower highs and lower lows with a higher high. That would make me bullish. So if we break $49,000, if we close a daily candle above $49,000, that would flip me bullish. 50K, I'm bullish. I'm back in action. I'm accepting the loss. I'm perfectly fine with accepting the loss here. But again, you guys, I'm just doing my best with the data available to me and the experience I have to come to the most rational conclusion I possibly can. And right now, things just look bearish to me. Okay, and again, this is my opinion. Maybe we see new all-time highs in the next week or so. Who the heck knows? It's Bitcoin, it's crypto, but right now, short to medium term, I'm still bearish. Okay, and again, we'll cross those downside price targets once if things do play out as I believe they will. Okay, so that's short term, you guys. Let's skip straight from the 4 hours to the weekly because I just want to zoom out here, really show you what this looks like from a weekly chart. This looks so messy, you guys. I'm sorry about that, but this does not look good, you guys. And as I look at this too from a weekly perspective, the stochastic RSI on the weekly just turned down, which is very, very bearish from a technical perspective. And it's honestly on TradingView, it's been a while since I looked at the weekly. I look at the weekly on Robinhood a lot, on the 5-year on Robinhood, but this is this makes me even more bearish, and this just furthers my bear argument. So what we're seeing here, you guys, is very reminiscent. So again, a big move up, new all-time highs, crash, capitulation, relief rally, or dead cat bounce is kind of what's happening. I'm sorry all of these are in the way, you guys, but I'm not going to get rid of them right now. But we are like up here right now, just moving like this, okay? And this is very reminiscent of every other bubble I've ever played. Okay, a lot of you guys know I say this, and I'm not doing this to brag. I'm just doing this to try to kind of reinforce and bring some validity to this statement. But this is like the most common pattern you see when playing hype cycles and bubbles. Again, you guys, I've built the majority of the net worth that I currently have playing these hype cycles and bubbles and just understanding these patterns. And this is what you see pretty much every time. On a bull run, parabolic move up, you see the hype, you see the FOMO, you see the momentum. Tops out, you see a big sell-off. We're seeing a little relief rally now. Who knows? Maybe we see another rip up. Again, I don't know. But to me, it looks like a relief rally after an absolutely crazy bull run that was the Bitcoin bull run of 2021. Again, the fundamentals are great. There's so much more infrastructure being built around Bitcoin. There's a lot of bull arguments for Bitcoin right now. Inflation, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But again, just as someone who's played a lot of these hype cycles, this just looks like a relief rally, a dead cat bounce prior to a move down, prior to what I believe will be the resolution, the true phase of capitulation that might span a while. And I do think that we need to revert to the mean. I'll just talk to you guys about my downside price targets right now. So we're zoomed out and they're drawn right there. Reversion to the mean, been saying this for a long time, you guys. Reversion to the mean is what, in my opinion, needs to happen in almost all corrections and all true corrective periods following a crazy bull run. And that is the revisiting of the initial high of that rally. So for Bitcoin, that's technically 20K. Right, or obvious line of resistance because that was Bitcoin's previous high back in December of 2017 and early 2018. That was Bitcoin's previous all-time high a few years back. So obviously, maybe that comes into play. That's my absolute low ball for Bitcoin. If we see a $20,000 Bitcoin again, honestly, might go all in, but personally, I think 25K is more likely, and that's a lot more conservative of a first initial high, kind of prior to seeing somewhat of a pullback before really absolutely going parabolic, okay? So that is just my opinion once again, you guys. We'll see what happens here, and just to kind of give you guys an insight as to what this looks like. Again, big move up, followed by a pretty significant move down, sideways price action, move up again, dead cat bounce, followed by that true capitulation. And then you can see we bought, like, Bitcoin also back here, bottomed out pretty much at its high prior to that, around like $5,000, and that's where it started going sideways. Okay, all right, I'm sorry, it bottomed out over here. So for a long time, it bottomed out at that initial high, and it came down even more. But there's no chance in my mind that we see a single digit, like a 4-figure Bitcoin ever again. Okay, you guys, there's no chance in my opinion that we see below a $10,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so again, bull long term, short term, for all the reasons I discussed as we're looking at the 4-hour candles, still bearish. Okay, so let's move to ETH. Look at the 4-hour here. Actually, we'll go to we'll talk 4-hour and then we'll go to the daily. So ETH is still in a series of higher highs and higher lows. You could say this is a lower high right here, and we did kind of just set in a higher low, but that's not the case. I'll go to the daily. We'll actually go to we'll go to daily candles for both Ether and Link, because both these I do think require a little more middle ground. I'll explain what these are right here, okay? So this big move up right here kind of discounted this head and shoulders that I've been keeping an eye on, right? But Ether, once again, still in a series of higher highs and higher lows ever since that same September 7th sell-off. Boom, big move down, little bounce up, still moving low and still basing out. If we do go sideways and we do see further downside from here where we're at right now over the course of this weekend, etc., that is still setting, in my eyes, and I feel objectively true, a lower low. A lower high, I'm sorry. So again, high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Probably on our way to a lower low if we start going flat right now. We're still in a downtrend. Once again, you guys, that's the purpose of this video. Explain to you guys why we are still in a bear trend from a technical perspective. Okay, so Ether, this is the very obvious trend line in play. Just use a tip right there. Ether, I'm going to say that's a more fair trend line. I don't like using just absolute tips, but there's a few touch points here, so I will use that conservatively. Maybe ETH. Best case scenario, does bounce up here. Again, maybe Bitcoin sees a little bounce up to test the line of resistance on the short-term downtrend. ETH might do the same, but we're still setting in that same lower high, okay? So regardless, if we do see some short-term upside, I still think it's likely that we see downside. The reason these are here is because I do think it's possible that Ether plays out somewhat of this head and shoulders pattern. Again, the move up here makes this a very sloppy. The volatility that we're seeing on this right shoulder makes it look very, very sloppy. But still, the general, again, you guys, trends are never perfect, but it's just kind of psychological patterns. That's what trends are. That's what charting is. It's just kind of psychology printed on paper. Okay, obviously not paper, but you guys get what I'm saying. But regardless, left shoulder, head, big move up. Right shoulder, kind of going sideways around the same exact area. We've spent a lot of sideways time around here in the left shoulder. And if we resolve that, it would take us back down to the base of where the shoulder started. That is 41 bars because we were on daily candles, of course. So this, from the base to where the base of the head is, to the neckline, I guess you could say, took 41 days. And 41 days from the base of this, the other side of the neck, to the base of that shoulder or that arm would take us to $1,800, or obviously roughly like 45% correction, 45% correction on October 21st. Okay, so spooky October, sussy September, spooky October, Halloween would be appropriate. I don't know, but you guys know, again, I'm just bearish on the entirety of the markets right now. I just think things are just visibly cooling down. And again, it's hard to rationalize exactly why that is, but there's just so many macro factors at play right now that lead me to believe that just for now, the rally's over. And again, that's okay. Corrections present opportunities. Say that all the time because it's true. If we do see 40-50% corrections once again, I'm buying, and I'm buying way more than I had right here when I started cashing out all of my positions again. Once support is broken, once the trend is broken, I'm a bear, and I'm going to liquidate my positions because I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be able to buy those positions back at a cheaper rate. And again, sold a bunch of ETH right around here. If we come down here, I'm going to have double the ETH, okay? So that's just, again, that's the game of being a trader. That's the game of optimizing your profits over the long term. So that's ETH, you guys. Again, still bearish. Let's talk Link as well. Just be quick here because, again, the same pair. There's a lot of parallels in the charts here, and you guys, again, lower highs, lower lows. High, low, higher, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, basing out the same line of resistance on the short-term downtrend. Maybe Link comes up a little bit, but what's more important here is the downside price targets. And for Link, that is going to be kind of just this big old bottom right here, just because this area is such a strong line of support. I bought a bunch of Link over here, honestly. So Link saw a crazy run. So the low over here back in July was like $13.50, came up all the way to 36 bucks. So almost 3x on this little bounce up. But again, you guys, as you zoom out here, this is just what it's so reminiscent of so many relief rallies that I've seen. Again, big rally up, new all-time highs, the crash, the bounce, the relief rally. So again, I do still think that these are a lot of just macro relief rallies and bounces. And again, based on the short-term technicals, based on the macro factors at play, I am still bearish. Again, let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know if you disagree with this, that's okay, but let me know why. Make sure to rationalize your opinions. hey, don't keep it civil if you don't want to. I don't really care. But let me know what you guys are thinking down below. Again, I'll catch you guys downstairs in the comments. And if you guys are part of the Complete Portfolio newsletter, once again, first link down in the description, I'll catch you guys on Sunday because Fridays are also for the fam. I only do the newsletter and Discord and hop in the Discord on Fridays for that day updates as we close out the trading week, okay? So if that's the case, I'll catch you guys on Sunday. If not, I'll catch you on Monday. Hope you all have a great weekend. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, guys.